A man from Stanberry, Missouri, United States named Mike "Madman" Marcum attempted to construct a fully functional time machine on his porch. He started working on a contraption called the Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder is a device that reduces air resistance between two poles by using a modified compact disc laser whose result will be a continuous arc. On turning on the device, he spotted something abnormal. He saw that there was a heat mark identical to what one would notice on a hot footpath, but it was vortex-shaped and circular. So he made up his mind to test the effect by throwing a screw made up of sheet metal through a vortex to see what would happen. As a result, the screw disappeared for half a second and later reappeared at a distance of a few feet. Marcum was 21 years old at that time and was pursuing a course related to electricity. He was a brilliant and intelligent student compared to his fellow mates. The reason why Marcum wanted to build a time machine was that he could win lottery numbers from the future. However, Marcum was confronted with the issue of requiring a huge amount of power supply for the time machine to function effectively. The CD laser caught fire after a few more trials. He figured out that he needed to use larger transformers to rebuild the machine. He intended to purchase brand new transformers, but they were rather expensive. So he changed his mind and stole 6 transformers worth more than 300 pounds from St. Joseph Light and Power Generating Station in King City, Mo. He caused a power failure, which resulted in a total blackout of several blocks throughout his neighborhood while he was testing his experiments. As a result, he was found guilty of stealing the transformers and was arrested a few moments later after the blackout, i.e. on 29 January 1995, by Gentry County Sheriff Eugene Lupfer. After completing his jail sentence for several months, Marcum was released and was invited by Art Bell on Coast to Coast Radio as a guest, where he told the story of the screw and his plans to build a time machine. He also vowed that this time he would do it legally. In the radio show, Marcum said that he still wanted to try the experiment, but he lacked resources which included both money and spare parts. During the interview, he publicly told his mobile number, because of which he received non-stop calls for 3 days. Many listeners contacted Marcum as they wanted to help him with funds, ideas, and spare parts. The bits of help and donations made his project more powerful, and the level of the project was much bigger this time as compared to earlier. This time he wanted to test the time machine on himself, so he increased the power of the engine from 1 kilowatt to 3 megawatts. To make the experiment more effective and efficient, he also installed a rotating magnetic field, similar to the one that was used by the U.S. military in the Philadelphia experiment. A year later, Mike was again invited as a guest by Art Bell, where Mike claimed that this time he experimented with the more advanced and sophisticated time machine. Also this time, the electromagnetic vortex was big enough for a man to walk into. At the end of the interview, Marcum claimed that he was on the verge of generating the desired amount of voltage required to run the machine. On getting asked what he would take with him, Mike replied that he would just take his cell phone. Now, instead of his phone number, he gave his address. In 1996, during his second-last interview, which was also his last, Mike said that he was just 30 days away from completing his legal time machine. Mike Marcum disappeared in 1997. He was never found. A stranger later called the Art Bell Show to report a strange story he had found. According to the story, a dead body of a man was found on a Californian beach in the 1930s. The dead body was mysteriously crushed in a strange metal tube. The face was in an unrecognizable state, and a strange device was also found next to the dead body. The device was similar to a cell phone. Leave us your thoughts in the comments section.